Alrighty, so we have Rodrigo Nascimento versus Alan Baudot. So yeah, on the feet, Alan Baudot is very light in his feet. He's probably got the speed advantage in this one, definitely. Rodrigo, not the quickest guy I've ever seen. He's pretty flat-footed, Rodrigo. He's definitely less of a natural striker than Baudot. Baudot likes to keep the fight in the feet. His hands don't look great though. Alan Baudot's hands don't look great, and he throws a lot of spinning shit. But that kind of stuff's probably not going to fly at UFC level. But the saving grace is that he's a heavyweight, and a lot of the heavyweights are very plodding and slow. And while he's light on his feet and he can spin quite quickly, that might catch a few people off guard. His favourite spinning technique would have to be the spinning back elbow when his opponent advances on him. He looks for that a lot. He can go to the well too many times with that spinning elbow, and if Nascimento gets the read on it, he could just grab the body lock and look to take him down, which is probably what I'd do if I was Nascimento. But yeah, he also for Baudot, he also looks for the Muay Thai plum clinch, looks for knees to the body, pulls down, break the posture, look for knees to the head. For Nascimento, he's a bit more traditional, but also more basic. His go-to combination is the left hook overhand right, and pretty much just crashes into the clinch and looks to get it onto the mat, which is where he really wants the fight to be. His go-to takedown is when he gets into the clinch, he'll look for an inside-outside leg trip from the body lock. Baudot does have a judo background, and he seemingly does have pretty strong hips when defending trips in the clinch, and he has a nice hip toss of his own, but once he gets on top, he's not great. He doesn't have the greatest top control, and if you get Baudot on his back, he has a very loose guard. It's very easy to pass his guard and really obtain a good amount of top position on the guy. And if Rodrigo gets on top, he likes to stand up in guard and look for some straight punches, ground and pound. That technique is okay at heavyweight because heavyweights generally don't have the greatest agility, and they aren't too quick to get off their back once they are put on their back. So yeah, but once they do turn to get back to their feet, he will look to take the back and then put in the leg hooks, look for that rear naked choke, or just flatten them out and look for ground and pound. So how these guys win fights. So for Baudot, I need to see a little bit more against decent competition to say where he wins fights or where he's able to win fights. I guess right now I'd probably just say his athleticism. For Nascimento, he seems to have a good submission game, and that's relative to the level that he's been fighting at. How these guys lose fights. So for Baudot, he has poor get-ups, he has poor fight IQ, like too much flashy shit, in one fight, he had this guy rocked, I think it's Stroll or Stone or whatever the guy's name is that he last fought that went to a DQ, Stune, something like that. He had the guy rocked, and then he goes for like a rolling thunder to finish the fight, and the guy that he's rocked, he's a wrestler, so he's been looking for takedowns the whole fight. He's been looking to put Baudot on his back the whole fight. He finally gets his hands on him, rocks him a little bit, and then he goes for a rolling thunder, and then he falls on his back and can't get up. And then the dude, I think, won the round just by just landing on top of Baudot and just accruing some top control. But yeah, so poor fight IQ. For Nascimento, geez, he's slow. He's very slow on the feet. So pass to victory for these two. So for Rodrigo, obviously get into the clinch and look to ground the fight. That's where you have the biggest advantage. Look for ground and pound in half guard, and then wait till he turns and then take the back from there. For Baudot, lots of movement. Stay off the fence. Don't throw any stuff that's gonna put you on your back. Don't throw any spinning techniques in close, or I guess that's his whole game, but don't throw any rolling thunders. I'm pretty much saying that. I actually don't mind a spinning elbow if you get the timing on his kicks, because he throws a lot of naked kicks in close range. So if you get the read on one of his low leg kicks, then I don't mind the spinning elbow, but just make sure your read is picture perfect for that. Also, no judo throws in the clinch, because if you screw it up, you're on your back. He's just going to control you for the rest of the round. Also, the best case scenario is that you get on top, and if you get on top, I think he'll be able to get back to his feet pretty easily, honestly. Like, your top control isn't very tight, isn't very good, and then he is a a submission guy. So his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I'm pretty sure he's like a purple belt or something, but it's much better than yours. So just don't go for those judo throws. How I see the fight playing out. So both these guys had less than memorable UFC debuts. I expect a bit of a feeling out process as they try and like settle themselves into the UFC octagon, like for real this time, instead of facing like prospects. Both have faced really poor competition on the regional scene, but for sure Rodrigo has fared better against solid competition and solid opponents, such as the guy who fought in the Contender Series, the Polish or Czech guy. He fought in the Contender Series who's decent enough. And also, he beat Dontel Mays, who I guess is in the UFC. Dontel Mays got a few wins in the UFC, so yeah. That's more than you can say for Baudot's best opponents. I think Baudot's best win was against Shunsuke Inoue. And that guy is 16-11. That's his record. That's the best opponent. Well, that's the best win, I think, Baudot has on his record, if you go look at it. Yeah, so the Stout, that's the name I was thinking of before. The Stout Baudot fight that ended up in a DQ was Stout pretty much dominating the fight on the mat, took him down, just absolutely dominated him. But Stout, and he tapped him out as well, tapped him out in like the third round. Stout ended up, testing positive to weed, and the loss was overturned into a win for Baudot. So, Jesus Christ, that's really terrible promotion. I don't know who okayed that, but it is what it is. They'll look terrible in about 3 or 4 years. But yeah, I see Nascimento just doing the same to him, just dominating him on the mat. If he just doesn't get meme KO'd by one of those spinning elbows, I think he should look really good here. Baudot trains at MMA Factory, which is a good gym, solid prospects, but it doesn't have the coaching level or the amount of looks that ATT is going to give you, and that's where Nascimento trains. So I definitely like ATT in that one. So yeah, I think all indications suggest that Nascimento gets an easy win here. Alright, so prediction is Nascimento by submission. I think the line's a tiny bit wide, it's low level heavyweight, but Baudot isn't great. But I think the line is a tiny bit wide. I'd probably line it around -255 for Nascimento. So I think I don't want to bet Baudot, but I'm just saying, I wouldn't bet Nascimento. What I'm looking for is Nascimento by submission at +150 or $2.50. I think it happens at a very high clip, and if I can get that price, I'd probably bet it.